There is something remarkable going on in the communities of the First Nations, a veritable renaissance. After a very dark period, they're taking a central role once again in the economy of this place, which is an essential element of reconciliation. This has given rise to a new world, Indigenomics. One of the most important communicators, one might say even prophets, of this new concept is our next guest. Please welcome Anne Hilton.
Uklaasish Anne Hilton. My name is Anne Hilton, and I have something to say. Uklaas wakatush ko atsa umti. My new channel name is Wakatush. It is a name that means I come from a line of the oldest woman. I come from the Hesquiaht Nation. I come from the New Channel people. I am the first generation out of residential school. I am the 5th generation since the establishment of the Indian Act. I'm here to talk to you about Indigenomics. Some of you may have heard of Indigenomics. If you have, you're right on time. Some of you may not have heard of Indigenomics. If you haven't, you're in the right place. Indigenomics is the conscious claim to our modern relevance of an Indigenous worldview today. It's a conscious claim of our economic space, of who we are as Indigenous peoples. It is this creation of space for an Indigenous worldview that the world is calling for. It's a calling for the relevance of a worldview that speaks to our relativity. Why Indigenomics? Because Canada is in a treaty relationship. Why Indigenomics? Because we have 76% of Indigenous children living in poverty in some areas of Canada. In establishing Indigenomics, the ability to move it forward from a simple hashtag to be managing a movement today, to managing a movement that is building in the importance of the visibility of Indigenous peoples today. Indigenomics is a platform. It's a platform to be able to build from. It's a platform to be able to bring visibility to Indigenous peoples. I, as a Hesquiaht woman, of introducing myself to you of who I am, have experienced no less than 150 years of economic displacement. This is the uncomfortable truth of the time of this country. It is this uncomfortable truth that can be seen in the economic impacts that we often see as the high statistics or the marginalization, the numbers that exist within the margins of this country. So how do we reference Indigenous peoples within the numbers of this country? The highest suicide rates, the highest amounts of mental health issues, the highest amounts of incarceration. All of these negative numbers that do not reflect who we are, that do not properly be able to frame our role and our position within this country. The development of this country was formed on a simple, uncomfortable truth built upon the words of Duncan Campbell Scott, one of the early superintendents of the first Indigenous Affairs Office. The development of this country was formed on this concept of the Indian problem. I'm here tonight to tell you I am the modern representation of the Indian problem of this country. So the Indian problem of this country has always been the formation of economic justice. Economic justice has been a pathway that has allowed the formation of the Indigenous exclusion from the economic equation of this country. Indigenomics is this concept that we are still here as people. We are walking resilience. I am the Indian problem. I am the Indian problem because the growth of Indigenous business, the new environment that we see today, this rapidly growing shift that's recognizing the growth of Indigenous business must be paid attention to. We are here and we are excelling in spite of the Indian Act. We are a powerful people. Indigenous peoples have won over 250 court cases in this country, all creating this space for a new environment of economic empowerment. We look to key numbers such as the National Aboriginal Economic Development Board that says an optimized Indigenous workforce in this country would add $27 billion to the GDP. We look at reports that say the value of the 2016 economy for Indigenous peoples was 16 million in 2010, 32 billion in 2016. We are a powerful people. It is the powerful questions of this time. The powerful questions of this time create intrigue. They invite us to the table. They invite imagination. Questions are the architecture of tomorrow, the ability to live in possibility. The questions of yesterday are the ones that form this country. So it is only in the next 150 years that the power moment of the architecture of the quality of the questions that we ask today will shape the future of this country. Economic reconciliation, it's the space between the lived realities of Indigenous people, those negative statistics, the ability to understand the role of the Indigenous relationship in this country, and the need for progressive action. Economic reconciliation exists within the balance sheet of this country. Indigenomics is about restoring the narrative that Indigenous peoples are a burden on the fiscal system to Indigenous peoples are economic powerhouses. It's time. Indigenomics is modern Indigenous economic design. It's a collective modern economic response. It's modern Indigenous economic design to be able to focus on the potential of who we are today. The questions that we ask today: how do we collectively facilitate the growth of the Indigenous economy from 32 billion in 2016 to 100 billion in 5 years? This is Indigenomics. Who wants to play Indigenomics? It's the question of today. The question of today is the ability to engage and to invite and to participate and identify your humanity in the leadership of the pathway that's been formed within this country. Let's have the courage to do this together. Thank you.